Now Tati is coming in. All right, so what you have to know about money is, first of all, money is energy, right? So if we look at money or like anything in our world, everything, if you like take it all down to what it consists of, it all consists of energy. So if you look at this picture down here, right? You, Kathy, this picture down here, this is like the atom in there, and then around it there's the electrons, right? So basically everything that you see in your world is made out of this. So like your body is made out of it, this curtain is made out of it, this glass of water is made out of it, the water is made out of it, it's all made out of energy. Everything. So sometimes we don't really like tap into that, knowing that it is out of energy, because it's just in our world, it's like, oh, money is just this thing that you need to buy stuff with. But at the end of the day, anything that you see is made out of energy. So what that means is that you can start working with that, because you have an energy that you send out, and depending on that energy that you send out is also what you attract back into your life again. So money itself is neutral. Neutral. How do we know that? Because money doesn't judge. How do we know that? Because good people and bad people can get money. You can use money for good things and you can use money for bad things, right? If money was like a positive thing, then you wouldn't be able to use money for something that is negative, right? Like negative, positive are labels as well, but itself, money is neutral. Like you can use money for anything. It doesn't judge. It's not a matter of, if I am the nicest person in the world, then the money's going to come to me. Or if I am being super positive all the time, then money's going to come to me. Because you see a lot of people that are negative as well that have money, right? Money likes the energy of calm. It's a calm energy. It's not this excited overdrive of, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this is blah, blah, blah. It's like very unorganized, and it's also not like super depressed or like anything like that is extreme or really angry, right? These extreme emotions, money doesn't really like it too much. It's more the energy of calmness. So it's very like calm and structured and like respectful. So like a lot of respect and appreciation, because if you think about it, anyone likes to be appreciated, right? If like that you're being appreciated by someone, you love to hang out with them because you're like, oh, it makes me feel good because they appreciate me. If you know that you're gonna see someone and they always just tell you that you're not good enough and that you're not enough and this is not happening, you don't want to hang out with them, because it just, if you think it that way, it's like, oh yeah, okay, so I want to really appreciate money. I want to respect it and want to love it, instead of going, oh, I hate money. Money's the root of all evil. And like all of these things, which we are going to actually look into more today as well. And then money circulates. So what money does is it flows and it circulates. So that's why money doesn't like to be kept in one space. So if you just want to have money to collect money in your bank account so it can sit there, that's not really the purpose of money. The purpose of money is to flow. So it's this constant like in movement, in flow and circulation. You like give out and you receive back. You give out and you receive back. And I'm gonna be, I'm filming this and I'm gonna be uploading it and giving you guys a recording of that as well, just so you know. So this is from Curve and Ray, and I really love this concept. So what stories are you telling yourself? If you look from like how our conditioning, how we conditioning, that's like all when we're really small, right? When we're like 0 to 7 months old, that's like the main part of it. And then again, from like 7 months old till 7 years old. So the way we condition ourselves is through stories. So we see something play out. That's a story, right? Like mom and dad are behaving this in this way. That's a story. So that's how we learn. So then it's like, this happened to me, that from this on, that's the story I saw. This is the story that keeps on happening over and over and over again in my life. What happens with these stories from all these stories that we see, we form a belief. So because I've seen all these stories happening, because I've seen my mom and dad always fight about money, because I've seen my grandmother and her partner always fight about money, or my grandmother and my father fight about money. I've seen people be mean to me because I didn't have enough money when I was a child. Because of all of these stories that I've seen, I've now created a belief. The belief is that, say, if money causes trouble, money causes fights, money causes negative emotions, money causes disconnection. So from these beliefs that we formed, we now, based on these beliefs, we now create our values. So what is important to me in my life based on these beliefs? Because at the end of the day, when we're small, all we need to take care of is to stay safe. So that's why the stories that we see and how we interpret them forms our beliefs based on how can I stay safe. So if I say, okay, from what I've seen, money causes trouble and money causes disconnection, well, I believe that's my belief now as a child. Well, my value is not going to be on money, because if my value in my family, it's always about we have to be a harmonious family, and the value is on family, and I've created a value, okay, family is important to me, then money means disconnection. So money is not a high value for me. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm just gonna see. So it's really about what are the stories, like that's where it starts, right? In the stories that we see, what stories are we telling ourselves? What beliefs do we have? And then also with the values that we create then, and you can see, and that's a cool thing that he said, and I really love that. I haven't tried it out yet, but I will. He said, take a value that you know for yourself to be true. So let's say if you have the value of family or relationship, right? Let's say family. And then if you now notice that, oh, maybe money isn't a high value for me. So that's also your values are what decides how motivated you are for going after something. Because if I have a high value for family, I will naturally be motivated to do things for being with my family, creating an environment to have a good family. That's going to be a natural motivation, a natural drive, because I have a high value on family. If I have a low value on money, then naturally I will not have a high drive, because my motivation is going to be up here to create this. If I believe that money causes disconnection, well, yeah, I can tell myself all day long, I'm going to make more money, I want to earn more money, but the motivation is not going to be intrinsic. It's not going to be there naturally. It's going to be hard. It's going to be like, oh, I kind of have to do this. So what you can do there is, okay, if I notice this, find 500 things. He said 500 things how having more money will help you or increase your family life. See how you can connect it? It's like, how does this value that right now is sitting lower for me, how can I connect it to something that's already driving me intrinsically, that I already have a high motivation for? Because if I find these 500 reasons why I can, 500 reasons why money is going to help me to increase this, to make this more beautiful, to make this more harmonious, to make more connection within our family. Well, for 500 reasons, you're going to be like, maybe making money is something that I want to actually do. Maybe I want to be motivated to do that. Make sense? No? Okay, cool. So that's all we're going to look at our stories are. Another cool story, which I love. So an example, and that really got stuck in my head. So I'm going to say that from what he told us, it's 2 or 3 days ago now. So he said he used to work with women at gyms. So he's a personal trainer, and he had different kinds of women come into the gym. So there's he said there was always kind of 2 different kinds of women. So they all wanted to have a certain weight or figure, right? A certain body image. And they would come in and they would say, oh, this is how I want to look like. And they made a training plan. And then as soon as this beautiful woman comes in that has exactly the body that the women, both of them, wanted to have. So they're slim, I don't know, just like the body that they wanted to have, right? And the one type of woman, the one woman, she would go, oh my God, I bet she doesn't eat. She's probably a slut. She's probably this, she's probably that. She probably only eats like kale and this and this and that, right? So kind of like spewing venom at her and being like, oh, who is this? Like, oh, why is she doing this? Da, da, da. And the other kind of woman, as soon as she saw someone like that walk past, she was like, oh my God, she looks so beautiful. She's so amazing. Can you introduce me to her? It's like, oh, can I get to know her? Can I be her friend? All right. So what happened was 6 weeks down the track, they were doing their trainings. They were like both like 5 kilos down, had their diets, like nutrition sorted, everything. And it was the weekend. And after the weekend on Monday, the first woman comes back and she looks like bloated and like not really healthy. And he's like kind of a bit ashamed. And he's like, oh, what's happened? She's like, yeah, so my girlfriends came around on Friday night and they brought like cake and pizza. And yeah, I just let go and I just had like cake and pizza and wine. He's like, that's okay. And then she's like, yeah. And then on Saturday, I kind of thought, oh, it's already like happened on Friday, so I might as well let go. So I had this and this and that. He's like, all right. And she's like, and then on Sunday, I was already off track. And then I ate this and this and that and that and that. And he's like, okay. So like, just to see what's happened. So like, basically it's like this, oh, okay. The whole weekend was fucked basically. Second woman comes in and she's like, runs in super happy. She's like, oh, she's like, oh, and the other woman obviously like gained a few kilos. He's like, all right, let's just keep on going, no worries. And the second woman comes in and she's like super happy. She's like, oh yeah, guess what happened? He's like, what happened? She's like, so my friends came around on Friday night and they brought pizza and wine and chocolate. And guess what I did? And he's like, what? I just cooked my chicken and my broccoli and my rice and I stayed strong. And then the next day I went for a run and the next day, da, 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 da. So woman number one, who was spewing venom, she fully broke down. She's like, oh my God, no, I have to be with my friends and I have to do what they're doing, and started to basically just self-sabotage herself and all the progress that she's had. Whereas woman number two, who was like, oh my God, who is this woman? Let me be her friend. She was like staying on track with her goal. And if you think about this, it's like, yeah, because we all want to be accepted. So for the first woman that was like spewing venom at someone that had the body that she wanted, it's like, oh, if I now start eating my broccoli and my chicken, I'm not going to be accepted by my herd, basically, by my people around me. So she basically broke in. So subconsciously, she was self-sabotaging her own success because it's, oh, if I look like this skinny person, people are gonna actually talk negatively about me. Whereas woman number that was loving it, she's like, oh, I want to be like that. This is something admirable. If I become like her, if I start having her body, people are gonna start celebrating me. So this is how strong our stories, what we tell ourselves about a certain thing, can really or are really changing our behavior and how we self-sabotage and how we stay on track. Did everyone had an experience like this before? Does anyone relate? Like, I know I can relate to that. So that's why we're going to look at our stories and we're going to shift them, because if we always think that money is something that people are going to talk bad about, then we're actually going to start self-sabotaging ourselves as soon as we have more. So what do you associate with money? So what beliefs are holding you back from receiving money? And we're going to look closer at this. So beliefs that your parents or your grandparents have, what you've learned in school, and like what movies and books did you consume as a child. So what did they teach you about money? And we're going to start exploring and uncovering these beliefs, because once we're aware of them, we can change them. And we can start telling ourselves a different story. Because you will notice whenever you are in a state where something is not working the way you are, it's like you're telling yourself a story that's not empowering you. That's your program, that's your paradigm. So before we go into the questions, the statement, it's selfish to want a lot of money. Just to switch your perspective on that, because often we think that, okay, it's so like, if I have a lot of, like, let's say we look at someone and they go out and they buy themselves a car, like a super expensive car. And then we would judge them for that because it's like, oh, that's like an expensive car, like that's a waste of money, right? Or we ourselves would be like, oh, I would never buy that car because then like I would waste so much money. If you really think about it, where's that money going? So that money that you spend on a car goes to every single person that works in this company. Every single person that works in this company then goes to the supermarket and feeds their family with that money that they've earned. And then the supermarket has the money and they then start to buy other things. So basically, it's circulating, the money is flowing, it's just transitioning from one thing to another. It's not like I have this money and I give it to, like, I exchange it for a car and that's where it stays. It's not like, oh, I'm just making the people that have the car richer and richer, this one single person that owns the shop of the cars. No, it's literally like you give the money, that energy, into this direction, and then so many people benefit from that. If you go into a supermarket and you pay for your groceries, you're actually you're supporting every single person that is working in that supermarket. So you're supporting every single person in the supermarket, you're supporting their families, you're supporting their kids, you're supporting anyone, because it doesn't matter if whatever you're buying is big or small, you're still circulating it, you're putting it back towards other people. And I think that's a big mindset shift to make, because it's not like, oh, I'm buying a car and it's so selfish of me. No, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you flow it to, because you're giving it back for other people to enjoy it and for other people to do that, and they can give it back and they can give it back. So it's just like literally like just like circulating and coming back around and around in movement. And if you're giving it in a big sum for a big something, then you're still circulating it because it breaks it down again and again. So let's say even if you bought like jewelry for $100,000, one piece for $100,000, that piece would go to the company, which then gives it to their employees. They give it to the supermarkets. They give it breaks it down again and again. So it's never like, oh, it's selfish to have money. No, you're literally spending money, you're giving back. So a way to see this too is like when you have money, you get to decide, where do I want to flow the energy? So I get to decide which brands do I want to support. Like, do I want to go and buy clothes at with this like sustainable brand, or do I want to go to Bond? Like, what's in Australia? Bond, I think is one. Cotton On. So then you're like, okay, where do I want to flow my energy to? Where do I want to flow that to? What do I want to support? Plus, if you don't have any money, you can't give any money to anyone. You can't invite anyone for dinner. You can't take other people on holidays. So it's really not, it's the least selfish thing, because any big impact you can make is with having money. Because if you just live for yourself, so if you just always earn enough money to just get by yourself, then you'll never be able to give to anyone else. Because first of all you're going to think about all day long is me. How can I survive? And then you won't have anything spare to give. Yes, you can obviously, like, we're talking about emotions, but how are you going to give these like loving emotions to other people if all you can think about is survival? So now take your journal and write a few things down. Does anyone have any questions so far? You can raise your hand or just unmute yourself. Okay, take your journal and we're going to go through a few things. Let's see the time. Cool. So, what beliefs have you received from your parents and grandparents? So things like, and you can write down your own beliefs, what you have received. I'm just giving you a few examples here. Money doesn't, like, that's common beliefs that we get told, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't make you happy. Money is the root of all evil. Money is a limited resource. I'm not good enough with, I'm just not good with money. I don't have to take the money away from someone else. That's a big one. Like, oh, if I have a lot of money, then other people can't have it. There's more money in the world today than ever before. If you really think about it, that it's just it's just an energy, like all the money that's in your bank account. If I transfer $100 to Jamie, my person in the bank doesn't go get the $100 out and then walks to Jamie's bank and puts it in her safe. It's just a number in a system. So you have to work hard to get wealthy. No pain, no gain, and you cannot have everything. So you have to work hard to get wealthy or to be rich. That's also a big one that a lot of people have. And obviously, if you believe that, then you will always find ways to work hard. Or what else can be happening is that you say, oh, because I know I have to work hard to get a lot of money, or like, I know I have to work hard to live in abundance. So I'd rather not have the abundance, because otherwise I won't have any time anymore to live my life. If you start changing that, no, it's easy. Money just comes to me. Whatever I do, money just flows to me. Well, then you can allow that. It's like, okay, I allow myself to receive money, and I know I don't have to work hard for that. I know it can just be easy and in alignment with me. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. We've spoken about this. Then with how much respect are your grandparents and parents talking about money? So that's, again, money likes to be appreciated and respected. So how do you speak about it? Or how have you heard other people speak about it? Because chances are that the way you speak about money is how they spoke about money. So is it like, I literally Googled these. It's like bank, moolah, bacon, cheddar, coin, bucks, cash, bread, paper. In German, that would be the other ones. Kohle, Mäuse, Kröten, Asche. I don't know, is anyone German? No. Or maybe was it a taboo topic? So just like think about it. What's my language around money? Do I say like, or do I say, oh, chuck over that cheddar? I don't know if someone would say that. Not sure. Joel's like, no. But yeah, so that's like simple shifts you can make. It's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna like treat it with more respect from now and just call it differently. So how did your parents and grandparents deal with money? So that's like questions. You can like write things down. Did they always save money? So were they people that were very stingy and they were like, yeah, but like, let's say they would always buy the cheapest thing in the supermarket, always the cheapest brand. Or they would always just talk about, we need to save, we need to save, we need to save. Then did every purchase have to be well thought through? Is it, oh, you've got to think 3 times about what you're going to buy? Or was it more like, your parents, like what they did? It's like, oh, I want this, I'm going to buy it. Or was it always like a topic at home where it's like, I feel like I'm just making weird noises. I'm like, did they throw their money out of the window is another one. So often what happens is when, let's say, we connect arguments, fights, negative emotions, disconnection with money, a lot of the time what happens is that we want to get rid of it. It's like our energy is basically like, oh my God, I don't want money. Like you can consciously tell yourself all you want, but if your subconscious is programmed to money is bad, money causes arguments, money is causes disconnection, then what that's going to do is you're going to find ways to get rid of it. So you're going to find yourself ending up just buying the stupidest things that you don't even need just to get rid of the money that you have. Because of course, if having money means that you're going to have fights and arguments and disconnection and no love, you don't want to have that. And consciously you can be like, oh, I'm trying to save money, or I'm trying to like earn more, but your subconscious is like, hey, no, when we have money, people are going to hate us. We're not going to be accepted. We're not going to be loved. So of course, what are you going to do? In moments where you're not conscious, all of a sudden you need to buy this. And this is really important. And that is really important. Who here finds themselves whenever they find money, just throwing it out the window for just anything that they can find? And at the end, you're like, what did I even spend my money on? Yeah. One of my ex-boyfriends, he was like that. And I was just like, my head, I didn't understand. I was like, how can you? He was Australian, and he was just like, he earned so much money. In my head, at the time, I was like, whoa, like coming from Germany, I was like, whoa, you guys earn so much money here. And every single time at the end of the week, or even before that, his money was gone. And I was like, how do you do that? Like, I don't understand. Now I know why. Because exactly that story, his parents would always fight about money. It was always a topic. So for him, he just needed to get rid of it subconsciously. Then were your parents always in debt? And did they fight a lot over money? Just like that. So it could also be, let's say, like sudden act of defiance. If you notice that, or you felt that for your parents, money was more important than you. And then you could go in, okay, now I don't want money. Defiance. So now, with all these statements and beliefs and whatever you found out, if you wrote it down or if you just did it in your head, ask yourself, what experiences cause these statements, actions, and beliefs? And that's something for you to do after the call, if you want. So you ask yourself, with these things that you found out, okay, are there certain experiences or like actions or anything that caused me to believe that? And then number 2 is, you go into rephrase and rewrite every statement, action, and belief that you discovered. So you first go into, okay, what caused this? You find clarity around it. And then you go, okay, I see this, that this is why I'm believing this. And now I get to choose. So now you get to choose. You can see, okay, this is why I have these beliefs. Are they serving me? Are they not serving me? Do I want to believe that? Do I not want to believe that? And then what would I prefer to believe? So this is when you rewrite them. And this is cool because once you start actually writing this stuff out, you will notice that sometimes, let's say you're in a belief of, let's say, people are gonna judge me if I have a lot of money. Then you've wrote down the opposite of that. So having a lot of money makes me feel appreciated and loved. Then you can go in your mind whenever something comes up where you feel like, oh, this is something I'm dropping into right now. You already have written out the opposite. So it's so much easier to go there. It's like it's like lesson 2 and 3, right? When we write out our paradigms and like, what is the old thing that we're doing and what's the new thing that we want to be doing? It's so much easier because we've already thought about it before. So for example, before, my parents had no idea how to properly educate me on money, which is why I have so many limiting beliefs that are holding me back from being able to have lots of money. So you would make this way shorter, right? This is just like a description of like an example. And then afterwards, you want something that says, my parents had only my best interest in mind and therefore taught me everything they have learned and knew to be true about money. I'm grateful for everything they taught me because it kept me safe and formed me into the person I am today. I am now an adult and get to choose what to believe. From this moment on, I choose to have an appreciative, respectful, and loving relationship with money. That's something you could write out, and then you can form one statement of, I love, respect, and appreciate money. So you would have just one statement of a mantra that you can go to. It's like, oh, I love respect and appreciate money. I love respect and appreciate money. Yeah, it's not your parents' task to heal your relationship with money. That's always, sometimes it's like, oh, my parents, they did that to me. And it's like, yeah, they might be the reason why you have taken that on, but it's not up to them to solve it for you. It's just knowing that you get to now do that yourself. Another interesting one is, what beliefs did you learn from movies and books? That's another big one, because we're, especially as kids, always like seeing movies, seeing books, and like what did you see there? What are your beliefs there? So something like rich people are mean and lonely. What's that movie called? Devil Wears Prada. In English, would you say that? Devil Wears Prada? Does anyone know? Oh yeah, Elish is right. Cool. Then wealthy people are manipulative. Is I think Wolf of Wall Street or something is an example for that. Rich people are wasteful. Just throw money out the window, and then obviously they believe wasteful as if you could waste it, because we think that buying an expensive car is not a good, is wasteful, whereas now we know, okay, it flows back into the community again. That's just logic. It's like, okay, I logically know now it's just going to flow into the community again. Wealthy people only think about themselves. Cartoons is a really interesting one. If you think about kids, especially in the cartoons, the bad guys, what are they always after? The bad guys are after the money. All they want is the money. All they want is to be rich. Those are cartoons. So it's like, but that's what we're going to get exposed to, right? We get exposed to being poor is something honorable. Like, it's the movie Cinderella. She's like poor and that's honorable. And then the rich as stepsisters, they're so bad and evil and all they care about is the money. And then how are wealthy, for example, how are wealthy women being displayed, or wealthy men? Let's say if you see a woman drive in a Ferrari, what do you think? And I'm just saying women because that's like a specific statement. Eilish, what do you think? Can you tell us? I love you.
This is so funny because like when we were camping for the house, there was like a lady, there were these two ladies talking, and they were like, oh yeah, me and my husband got a divorce, so I'm just using his money to like set up my house. And it was like just the classic thing you'd see in a movie where like, or portrayed in a movie where like women only have money because like they got a divorce or like they've got a rich husband. It's always like backed off a man. And yeah. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And like that saying, there's that saying, behind every rich man is a supportive wife. So bad, man.
And then it's also the question, how much can you still allow yourself to acknowledge that that's also okay? Right? Like, how much can we still go into, okay, even if I have a rich partner and I don't have to work for my money, that would be okay. Because why do we have to work for the money? Why isn't it work to be a supportive wife? And it's something I think this is so cool that this is coming up, because this is something we judge so much, because for especially over the last years, it's like, no, women, right? Like, we're like, no, we have to work our money ourselves. We have to be super successful. We have to have a business because we have to prove that we can do it ourselves. We don't need the man. And then it's like, yeah, but what if your role where you thrive, what you love to do is supporting your partner in making life easy for him so he can do what his genius is and do that what he's good in. And you can be a mom. And why is that a bad thing? Or like, no, mom, you can literally just be a support for someone else. It's like an assistant. Like, that's how I see it sometimes from my logic. I'm like, but like, it's like, no, it's like an assistant that is just not being paid because you own it together. Or a business partner that is not acknowledged as a proper business partner because it's the wife. But really, what supportive wives are for men that are running like big businesses is a business partner. In some way or form, they support them and being able to do the work that they're doing, because a lot of the times they probably would not be able to do that without it. And how much can you still allow that and be like, okay, if I just don't have to earn money, that would be okay too. If all I get to do is support someone else, that would be all right too. Why do we think it has to be hard? Why do we think we have to prove something? What if it's all about just following our joy? And then we come to manifestation and attracting money. Well, isn't that an attraction of money too? In the easiest way possible. It's just that sometimes we don't want to see it because it's like, no, but I have to work for money. Money is connected with work, and it's not. And I think that's a big one because, why do we think we have to do our own thing? And why do we think we have to be so independent? And why do we think we have to make it ourselves? And like just receiving money for being and existing and enjoying our lives is not okay. Because that's what we all want, right? We all want to live and do what we love to do, and then do the things that we want to do, because why do we want the money? We don't want the money for the money. We don't care about the money. We care about the freedom that it gives us. We care about what we can do with it. So really, we care about the lifestyle that we can create from having that. And once we start to realize that, it's like, well, if I can live a lifestyle that I want and I don't have to work for that, why isn't it just amazing? And when you start to celebrate that with others, you will start allowing yourself to have that. Because if you think, but like this person hasn't worked for it, well, you're basically saying no to money coming into your life where you're not working for it. You're saying, you have to work for money. So whenever you would have an opportunity where money would just come to you without doing anything for it, you're just blocking it off. You won't even be able to see it. Because you'd be like, no, but I have to work for it. Because your mind only sees what it wants to see, and your mind only sees what you're believing already. So maybe we all don't have to work, and we just get to live our life, and we're gonna get money flown to us. And that's okay. Okay, so does it belong to you, or can you let it go? Again, the same questions, right? With those beliefs, and you can do this, let's say, with the belief of, I have to work hard to earn money. Okay, what else? What do you want to believe instead? You want to believe instead that money flows to me easily, and I attract money in my sleep. It's easy. You find your own words for that, probably better words than I just found, but every minute I sleep, I earn money. Or like money, I receive money. That's another one. Change your wording from earning money to receiving money, allowing money. Because earning often implies that we have to work hard, like we work for it, right? You earn it, deserve it. It says I have to do something certain or be something certain, like be in a certain way to be allowed to have it. That's earning, right? I have to do to receive. Whereas you just like, I receive money while I sleep every day. I allow money into my life every day. When I sleep, when I breathe, with every breath, I receive money. Okay. Same again. Get clear on your intentions. So as I said, the money is not there to have the money. The money is there for what you want to do with it. So once you start to get away from, money, money, money. I know I'm saying this word so much right now, but that's because we're having a money mindset masterclass. I said it probably 100 times already. So why do you want why do you want it? So what do you want to do with it? You go further than the substance itself. It's like, what's the life you want to create? What's the things you want to do? And a good question here is, do you want it for yourself or for others? In a way, double checking. Like, set the last question, do you want a lot of money to get acknowledgement from others or love, or to feel valued and worthy? That's a big one too. Do I think I have to have a lot of money because then people will love me and acknowledge me and appreciate me? Or do I want that because of the things that I want to do with it, the life that I want to live? And then you go into, okay, what do I actually want? And it's got nothing to do with the money. What you think you want the money for has nothing to do, like the money has nothing to do with the money. It's for the lifestyle, the freedom, the feeling that you're having. How you can, like, you can go for dinner with all your friends and you can just take the bill. You can fly on holiday whenever you want. You, like, these things, like, what do you want to do with it? Maybe you want to buy yourself a boat and you want to live on a boat. Or maybe you want to just live in the woods and just grow your own vegetables. Yeah, but that's not, then it's like, what is it that you want, not what you think is something that I should be doing or having. So lack attracts lack, and abundance attracts abundance. So if you want to have a lot of money, feel rich before you can see the money in your bank account. First comes the feeling, then the physical manifestation, always. So now we're getting into the juicy stuff. So it's all about how you're feeling right now. So abundance, the feeling of abundance isn't something that you will feel once you have millions on your bank account. The feeling of abundance is something that you can already feel now. And it's all about the feeling, because you have to have the feeling first, because you can see it in the outside world. So if we go to how we do that, we already feel like it's done right now. Right now, in this moment, without you having to do anything else, without you having to say another word, without you having to think another thought, it's already done. You already are abundant. Right now, in this moment, it's already done. That's exactly how you want to live. Because once you live in that place of it's already perfect now, going away from, oh, I need to be doing this, that, and then I'm going to have it. Or I need to be getting this more client and this more sale and and then it's done. I need to find what my passion is and then go after it and then it's done. That's how you create a quantum leap, is by already accepting that it's already done right now. Because what you're going to do is you're going to get into the vibration, into the frequency of it already being done right now. And this is the assumption of the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's done now. And from that place of it is already done, there's nothing else I have to do. That's how you live your life. Because that's when you start living your life from the end goal rather than from the now trying to get to the end goal. So we want to live our life from the end goal backwards. Like, I'm, let's say, here, but inside of me, in my feeling, I'm already up there. Because once you do that, you're going to live from up here, from the end goal backwards, because you live up here, you stay up here in that feeling. This is who you are now. You're already abundant. You're already rich. You already can have everything. You already get to invite everyone for dinner. You already can book any holiday you want. And then from that place, you're going to live and you're going to get the right inspirations on what to do, what makes sense to, the quickest way possible, align all the physical surroundings to actually, for you to start seeing that in your physical world. This is deep.
Can I ask a question, Viv?
Yes, please.
If you've never had money, or like if you've always kind of been in like that deficit sort of mindset, how do you go about like embodying that end goal? Like if you're not even really sure how it feels.
Yeah. So you tap into other feelings of abundance, right? Like it's that gratefulness for it. You don't have to change anything right now. This allowing, this receiving, this, you can look at, you start seeing abundance everywhere around you. It's like, oh, water, there's so much abundance. There's more than enough water in the world. Yeah, you go into a supermarket, you're like, wow, there's so much abundance in here. How grateful, how lucky are we that I can get into a supermarket and choose from so many different things. So much abundance. Like all the people around me, there's so much love. There's like nature. Like nature is a good one to tap into it because it's just blossoming and right. So you don't have to specifically go to money as in, oh, this is how I'm really going to feel when I'm have that sitting in my bank account, I guess. Because it's more like you tap into what are the things I'm going to do with it? How am I going to feel when I'm able to book that holiday or have booked that holiday? How am I feeling when I'm lying in Hawaii with margarita in my hand on the beach and I breathe in and I'm going to smell the air and the sun is shining on my skin and there's no worries and I just feel like I'm in the most beautiful spot in the world. So I know what you mean. Like sometimes it's like if you have really, really big goals and because you haven't been there physically, and it's like, oh, how is that actually going to feel? So then it's like, well, maybe you can even go a bit smaller where you can feel it and then work yourself up from there. That help? Yeah. And this, again, this abundance feeling, it's not about the money, but that's the frequency you want to be on to attract these things. Let's say, Sophie, with your contracts and stuff right now, these things are flowing to you not because you've been focusing on, oh, I need contracts, I need photography. No, because you let that go. You just said everything's perfect there right now. I don't worry about this right now. And you allow love, high love energy into your life, gratefulness. Like that's what I see a lot in you with the situation that you're in right now. It's like this gratefulness and this appreciation, right? Like this is the feeling. It's gratefulness, appreciation. And then the things that you want will going to come naturally because you live there. You live at the point where it's already done. Because you're already perfect as you are. And everything that's happening in your life is perfect. And how much can we still allow ourselves to receive what's already coming towards us instead of having this clear idea of, no, this is how it should be looking right now. So I'm cutting myself off from all the blessings that are coming to me. And I'm not even taking in what's really happening around me, being present and allowing these beautiful things to flow to me because all I'm doing is, no, I have to do this, that, being in the doing and trying. Because why, okay, love this. Why do we want to have all of this? Like, why do we want to have the money? Why do we want to have the freedom of that? Is because of how we want to feel when we're there. How do we want to feel when we're there? We want to feel like it's done. We don't have to worry. We don't have to stress. We want to feel like, oh, I can do whatever I want. That's why we want that. So why don't we just get that feeling in our body now? And that's how, when you use your imagination to, okay, I'm gonna be myself in my imagination to the place where it's already done, and then I feel it. And then I try and stay in that feeling for as long as I can throughout the day. Okay, let's see what else we have. How much time do we have left? Okay, we're going to go a little bit over. I'm going to put the recording up if anyone needs to go. So we have lack versus abundance mindset. So this is just a cool way to, we want to live in the abundance mindset, right? So lack is things like there's not enough of everything for everyone. It's like, oh no, I need to save. I can't take this because then someone else won't have it. Abundance is there's more than enough of everything for everyone. And these are things that you can say. You can literally go through your life and be like, oh my God, there's more than enough of everything for everyone. You can point it out